Hi, I'm Jill Kern, or Irene, and I'm going to show you some ways to make walking balance exercises easier. One way is if you have a room in your house with a wall that doesn't have a lot of furniture in front of it, you can walk along it while putting one hand on the wall. Or if you have a kitchen counter, say about the height of the back of this chair, you can just walk along the kitchen counter holding on with one hand, but still trying to stay upright. Or if you're really lucky and you have a big space, you can set up a row of chairs and just walk along the row of chairs, hanging on and walking back again. But there's another funny thing you can do, which will give you practice keeping your balance in different situations. And that is something called a slalom walk. Slalom is a word from skiing. You know, when a skier comes down a hill and has to weave her way or his way around a bunch of stakes stuck in the ground without falling over. Well, you can do your own version of that by setting up some chairs. It doesn't have to be 4 chairs. You could even do it with 2 chairs or 3 chairs. But you would start walking like this, passing one chair with your right hip, the next chair with your left hip, the next chair with your right hip, and the next one with your left hip. Then you can come around the final chair, turn in the opposite direction, and just repeat your walk, your slalom walk, in the opposite direction. And another thing you can do, if you don't feel confident about walking, is to use a hiking pole. Now, these are very similar to canes, but they come in a shape where you can make them shorter or longer, depending on how tall you are. But the idea of these is not that you're going to be leaning over while you're walking. You're going to be standing upright, and you need to set the length of the walking stick so that your arm, the lower half of your arm, is at right angles to the upper half. So you can use these, either one all by itself. You could hang onto the chairs with one side and just walk. And the interesting thing about these walking sticks is you should use the stick on the opposite side of the leg you have a problem with. That sounds kind of weird. You'd think that if I have a problem with this knee, I should have the cane on this side. But actually, it's the other way around. You need to have it on the opposite side. So if your left knee is bothering you, you should use the walking stick or the hiking pole on the right side. And if your right knee or foot is bothering you, you should use the cane or pole on your left side. And using 2 of them, you've probably seen people on hiking trails using 2 of them, but actually they're good for just walking around your neighborhood. It's even more helpful to have 2 of them. And you might say you don't know where to get these. They have them usually at hiking stores like REI, Recreational Equipment Incorporated, or LL Bean, or Eddie Bauer. I don't have a specific recommendation. I just know that these helped me a great deal when I was walking around an unfamiliar city. And even when there are a lot of people around, it tends to help you. They don't get close to you and bump into you as much if you have walking poles like this. So now I'm going to show you another walking balance exercise. Whoops. One reason people sometimes fall is that they trip over an obstacle on the ground, either a curb or the edge of a rug or something they didn't think was there. Sometimes people fall over their pets. I was leading a hike one day, and the only person who got hurt was a woman who tripped over her dog. And so you can practice for getting around obstacles by actually putting obstacles on the floor and stepping over them. Now, most people, you don't want to use a heavy obstacle, because if you did trip, it would be better to have something light enough so you just accidentally push it away. So I got some paperback books, and I'm putting them on the floor in a row. You can decide how far apart you want them to be, but just leave enough space in between so that you'll be able to walk over them. I think I didn't put them far enough apart. Anyway, once you put your books down, or whatever you decide to use as an obstacle, you can practice walking over them. And you can use your hiking pole to help you if you want to. It's no harder with a hiking pole. And I think I'm breaking my own rule here. I told you not to look down when you're walking forward, but this time I'm going to try doing it without looking down so much. Okay. Another thing that would be good to practice at home is walking when you're carrying something. I'm going to pick up these obstacles. Okay, say you're coming out of the supermarket and you have a bag full of groceries. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to avoid leaning over to one side if you've got a heavy bag. But if you are watching the person packing the groceries and you ask that person to put them in two different bags, then I'm going to illustrate with this even though it's not the same weight, but then it's much easier if you have two bags to carry that are evenly balanced. If you have something that is too big to carry, hanging from your arm, say you have a box that you have to pick up, or a heavy thing. I'm going to suggest that this is heavy. It's not really very heavy. But the easiest way to keep your balance is don't carry it bent over. Try to raise it up and carry it close to your chest as much as you can, because that means your center of gravity will remain centered over your feet. And if we were strong enough and have been doing it from childhood, we could carry things on top of our heads. But most people in this country have not been doing that since childhood, so I won't suggest that for you. I'll just say, if you have a heavy load to carry it close to your body rather than out in front. And when you have to pick it up in order to carry with it, don't lean over like this and get it, but get close to it, bend your knees, get it close to you, and then stand up. I just have one more suggestion for practicing walking. That is to practice walking while looking on either side, because there are many situations where we're walking straight ahead and we don't notice what's next to us. But if we're not used to turning our heads from side to side, just the fact of turning can make us start to fall. So this is something you can practice at home, just turning your head from side to side until you feel comfortable doing it. And of course, you can do this with your hiking poles or walking sticks also. So I think I've given you lots of strategies to try out. Another thing you can do just for fun, and this is not really something you'll do every day, but this might strengthen your leg muscles a little. You can try walking on your heels just for the fun of it. If this doesn't seem like fun to you, you don't have to do it. Or another thing you can do is walk on your toes. Some people walk on their toes when they're wearing high heels, but these exercises can strengthen your feet. And there are also some, you can also do sideways walking. This will help you practice. If you start to lose your balance, it will help you practice putting a foot out to the side to stop yourself from falling over. So I would say this sideways walking is a good one to practice. Okay, well, that's all I have to say today, except to repeat my encouragement. Do a little walking every day, even if it's just a little bit inside your house. Just keep your legs moving and remember to stand up straight, look straight ahead, and don't go too slowly. Walk fast enough so that the momentum of your body will keep you upright. That's all I have for today.